Good morning, Mizzou fans. We will always have Oklahoma. PM in the AM here on Wednesday, April 2nd. This is Gabe DeArmond. News of the day, as it was, Drew Pyne hits the transfer portal on Tuesday afternoon. Look, big picture, not a surprise, not a big deal. Drew Pyne was at best going to be the third string quarterback. Bo Perbula and Sam Horn are going to be 1 and 2 in some order. Drew Pyne served his role as Brady Cook's backup, came in at a couple of times where Missouri had to have somebody come in and did his job in his 1 year at Missouri. He will move on somewhere else. I would guess maybe a lower level where he can be a starting quarterback. I'm not real sure what his plans are. We will see. But it brings back memories, obviously, of the Oklahoma game in November, in which Drew Pyne led Missouri to 2 touchdowns in the final 8:47. The first, a 5-yard pass to Brett Norfleet. The second, a 10-yard pass to Theo Weiss in the corner of the end zone with 1:03 to tie the game. And then Zion Young wins it with a 17-yard fumble recovery and return. 30-23 in a game that featured 5 touchdowns in the final 9 minutes. And one of the more exciting for O-field finishes anybody can remember. It brought up the question in our mailbag this week on PowerMizzou.com. Who else in Missouri history is going to be remembered for like just this one thing, this one day, right? And the only guy that really comes to mind for me is John McGaffey. Also, oddly enough, against Oklahoma, the opening kickoff return in the win over the number 1 Sooners in 2010, second straight week on Saturday Night Football on ABC that the opening kick had been returned for a touchdown, which sparked an upset, I believe, of the number 1 team back to back. But McGaffey went, I think it was something like 87 yards on a bounce. And I've said over and over, it's the loudest I've ever heard for Rowe Field. That's the only other comp I have for just like one day of a guy who otherwise probably isn't really remembered in Missouri history. And I don't mean that as a slight to John McGaffey or Drew Pyne or anything like that, just that they aren't guys that had this body of work that we're going to remember forever outside of that one play. Basketball wise, there have been a few things like Ryan Rosberg and Reed Nico had these crazy finishes to their careers in the last like 3 weeks that we never saw in 3.5 years. But I can't really remember one play from a guy, maybe Kevin Young, who had a dunk to start the game against Oklahoma when I believe Missouri beat number 1 Oklahoma and Blake Griffin, but or highly ranked Oklahoma and Blake Griffin at least. But that's the only basketball thing I have, because other than that, there's never been like this big day from a guy that otherwise was really just kind of a role player, at least nothing that stands out. If you guys have one, I'm happy to hear it. Let me know in the comments. Have some more football portal news possibly coming in the next few days. Obviously, basketball portal picking up. Check all that out at powermizzou.com. 50% off for the foreseeable future. We will let you know when that's ending. While you're here, like, comment, subscribe. We'll talk to you tomorrow.